This is the November book haul. Hello everyone, my name is Emily and today I'm going to be doing a November book haul. So this month I picked up a lot of more fantasy history kind of novels because that usually is my not favorite genre, but usually what I like to read. The Queen of Tearling by Erika Johansen. This book is a fantasy novel. It's very in-depth with knowledge, with knowledge. So if you're looking for a book that's a beach read, I would not recommend this, but if you're looking for a new fantasy novel to follow, definitely pick up this book. It is really good. I think it's a trilogy or a series, and it follows the story of a 19-year-old who is the next heir to be queen, and her mother was the old queen, but nobody will tell her how she passed away, and there's a lot of politics, there's a little bit of war, and there's like a forest, and everyone loves forests and fantasy novels. So yeah, definitely pick up this book if you're looking for a new fantasy novel because this is really good. And also, can we just talk about the binding? It's beautiful. Longbourn by Joe Baker. And this is, I would consider a fan fiction because it is from Pride and Prejudice, but it's in the servant's perspective, and there's a bit of a love story, and it's very Downton Abbey if you've ever watched. It's very upstairs, downstairs, you know, servants versus family. So I really like it if you're looking for like another historical fiction novel, and it's to compare your writing or to write a fan fiction of a book that's so worldly known and so well written by Jane Austen is a very hard task. So she's doing a really good job, and I do like this book. Miniaturist by Jessie Burton. I was recommended this book by Books and Quills. I'm sure you've seen this on her bookshelf. It's the story of an 18-year-old in Amsterdam, and it's set in, oh, I forget the year, 1686. So if you're looking for a YA novel that's history as well as a little bit of fantasy, then, or not fantasy, but, you know, historical fiction, that's what I meant to say, then definitely pick up this book. The next book, the fourth book that I picked up, was Nightingale by Kristin. I have not started this yet, but I believe it is set in the Second World War, and I think her husband goes away to war and then the Nazis come, and it's very typical Second World War, but it's not as depressing as usual war books are. It's more of a romance novel, so I'm really excited to read this, and I love the design on it. It's very pretty, and I'm usually not a hardcover person, but I do really like the design on the inside. So the last book that I picked up was The Slow Regard of Silent Things by Rothfuss. Sorry if I said the name wrong. I was surprised by the size of it. It's actually quite small. The book is only about 150 pages, and it's actually it's a novel, but it's also beautifully illustrated. Here's an example of some of the illustrations. I just love the drawings, and it's basically about a young woman who lives under a college, and there's secret passageways, and she has like a pet fox, and there's magic and creating potions and things like that. So I'm very excited to read this. It's definitely an easy read. So I believe it is in the general fiction section, but I would also recommend this for young adults as well. So that was all the books that I picked up. I hope you enjoyed watching. Please feel free to comment or subscribe, and I will talk to you next time. Bye!